Hey, Miss Farina. Today's Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving first of all. This is my content summary and my opinion on my Chris Crutcher book, Staying Fat for Sarah Byrnes. So here I go. Well, first, Eric Calhoun. He's a high schooler, and he's an overweight kid, and he's got a best friend named Sarah Byrnes, and Sarah's face is severely burned, and that kind of gels them that they both have problems and brings them together in life and makes them connect and become very good friends. But during high school, Eric joins the swim team and he loses a lot of weight and gets a lot skinnier. And Sarah's actually put into a psychiatric ward because she's mentally insane. And nobody really knows why at this point. Eric, even though he becomes popular and he's a good swimmer, he still has love for his old friend, and he visits her in the psychiatric ward. And he spends a lot of time visiting her, actually. And he asks a lot of questions and finds out like why and how she got burned, but it's not confirmed. He doesn't know if it's true at this point, but he's gonna ask her eventually. One day in class, they were discussing abortions and some people's quality on life, and abortion's a very heavy topic, and it's hard to talk about in school. Eric's friend Mark is a very good student, and his name's Mark Britton. He's a very Bible-going person, very religious. And Eric finds out from Mark's girlfriend that he got her pregnant, and his girlfriend's name is Jody. And he got Jody pregnant, and he's forcing an abortion on her, and she doesn't even want to have one. And at this point, he does confirm the burn story and finds out that, well, Sarah's father was he was attempting to murder. He didn't murder her mother, but he was attempting to murder her mother. And she was watching, and her father saw her and took her face and just literally just burned her, and it's a horrible thing. Very sad. So at this point, Jody tells the whole school about the abortion and that Mark is trying to force her into it. And it pretty much ruins Mark. Like, nobody thinks of him the same, nobody sees him the same. It ruins his character and his personality. And Mark's life is whole ruined. Mark Britton's just, he's a nobody now, and he actually tries to attempt suicide. He tries to OD on pills, but he did something wrong and didn't quite get there, and he's still alive. At this point, Eric and Mrs. Lumry go visit Sarah in the hospital, and they're talking to her, and Sarah's actually mad that he told the story to Mrs. Lemry about her father and about the murder, and he promised he wouldn't tell, and he told Mrs. Lemry, so Sarah's upset. So they come up with the idea they really want to convict her father, and so they're just trying to think of ways to convict her father. And everybody hears about the Mark's attempt of suicide, so the class is canceled that day. And Sarah actually runs away with Sarah runs away with Eric and Mrs. Lemray, and she runs away and hides out with them because she doesn't want to be in a psychiatric ward anymore. And when Sarah's father hears about this, he's real upset, and he wants to go after Eric and ask about where she is and her whereabouts. So they come up with the idea to find Sarah's birth mom. They want to get her to testify against him in court because he's obviously crazy. And Eric is attacked by Mr. Byrnes, and he's trying to hurt him bad, and he gets away with just a pretty deep cut, and he goes to the hospital for that. And while he's in the hospital, the media jumps on the story and is like, this grown man attacked Eric, and the media gets on the story, and they find out more about Sarah, and it gets real bad. And now that everybody knows about the story, Eric's mom's boyfriend, who's not really mentioned in this novel, he wants to get involved, and he actually captures Mr. Byrnes, and they put him in jail, and Eric actually gains a lot of respect for his mom's boyfriend. He doesn't like him very much before this point. And then the father is convicted, and Mrs. Lemry ends up adopting Sarah in the end. Now, my opinion of this novel is I liked it. There's a lot of controversial topics, and I guess that comes with any Chris Crutcher book. But it was a little longer. That's one thing I didn't like about it. But it was all around a pretty good book, and I would suggest it to anybody that wants to read about these crazy topics like abortion and suicide and just things that really touch you deep down. Alright, and this is my video project of my book, my Chris Crutcher book, Staying Fat for Sarah Byrnes. I'm still broken, gotta teach myself to walk again, but happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and hope everybody had a nice break.